particularly as a brain, and particularly teaching you guys how to market, because in case you guys didn't know it, as artists and photographers, every single solitary person on this call's biggest problem is marketing. You need your art, your photography in front of more eyeballs to see if people like it and to, hopefully buy it. And if that's the biggest struggle, then it seems that we should probably spend a ton of time teaching you how to market. And that's what I want to do today. I'm going to do a little deep dive on Instagram and talk about Instagram generally as a platform. One of the things that I love doing lecturing about these things is I'm not some sort of guru, that says go and do this, go and do that. I swear it works. Like, I'm in the trenches doing this every single solitary day. I run the entire marketing department of this company, and I'm responsible for a whole bunch of different people and everything that goes on. The CEO of our company, same thing, responsible for even more stuff. Between the two of us, we're posting anywhere from like 120 to 150 pieces of content on Instagram a week, like right now. And there's a reason for it. It's not because we enjoy it or because it's good for our health. It is because it is extremely, extremely effective at getting people's attention. It's one of the most amazing opportunities an artist or a photographer has in today's day and age, and I want to talk briefly about that. Number one, Instagram has emerged as the most important platform for artists and photographers, period, full stop. It makes a ton of sense because what is Instagram? It's essentially a giant visual search engine. What do you guys create? Visual things. So it's the number one place to be, but it's rather more than that. It's sort of become, we're going to like buy a product, whatever it is, we'll usually run onto Amazon and read the reviews, especially if it's a more expensive product. That's sort of how we credit check. Is this something that we want? Is it a good product? Is it something that we can trust? Whether we buy it on Amazon or not, we read the reviews, right? And we get a quick signal. Okay, this is good. It's highly reviewed. Okay, I'm going to get it. When someone gets sucked into an artist or a photographer's ecosystem, somebody mentions them at a party, they see a post somewhere, somehow, they see you at a show or a fair, perhaps your art's hanging in a doctor's office or a restaurant or whatever. The first thing that they're going to do to investigate you is they're going to go to Instagram, okay? And they're going to see, does this person have a dialed in profile? Does the profile look good? Does their follower count? Are they posting regularly? Does this look like a credible artist on the up and up? Can I get to know them a little bit? Is it not just their artwork with something a little bit personal about them so I can, start to form a relationship and bond with that person? And that happens every single solitary day. And I don't see it changing any point in time soon. So whether you haven't gotten started on Instagram yet or whether you're full tilt, so important, you guys. So important to sell art. Also, things have changed recently on Instagram, which is very interesting and it's very important. Prior to TikTok coming on the scene, Facebook, Instagram, now called Meta, effectively had an utter, total, and complete monopoly on social networks in the United States. They owned everything. They made all the rules, and the rules were that you market on their platform, and if you market on their platform, you can get followers. Okay, great. You post regularly, some small percentage of your followers will actually see your content, but unless people are sharing it, no one else is going to see it. Only your followers are going to see that. Okay, fine. TikTok comes along, and they tried to buy TikTok. TikTok wouldn't sell, and now TikTok started stealing away a bunch of Facebook and Instagram's followers. Instagram really didn't like this very much, and so as a result of that, they essentially ripped up the social contract, which is this contract that says you get followers, some small portion of your followers will see your content. So Instagram copied TikTok, called the product Instagram Reels. And what's amazing about Instagram Reels, and they're anywhere from a few second to 90-second videos. Essentially, any video you put on Instagram now is automatically turned into a reel. So the nomenclature is a little confusing. What's not confusing about it is when you create a reel on Instagram, they will show it to people depending on how good it is, depending on if it's creative, depending on if it hits a sweet spot, to people that do not follow you. Stated in another way, you could be someone that just started an Instagram account yesterday. You could create a compelling reel and have 300,000 people see it. And never in history of the most important platform is something like that been possible. Most of you guys probably are here with low follower counts, just getting started, just figuring it out. And you're like, how do I get traction? How do I get going? I know I don't need to be boosting posts or wasting money on advertising. What can I do? The answer is create reels. Because at this point in time, at this moment in time, almost July 2023, they represent one of the highest leverage things you can do on the most important platform where people discover artists, follow them, and eventually buy art. So that's a very, very important thing to say, number one. Number two, I'm a little controversial when I say these things, but I've been doing this for a long time. I've got a lot of experience. The whole platform is set up to give us human beings little dopamine hits and make us feel good about things and get us chasing metrics that are utter, total, and complete nonsense. Okay? What do I mean by that? Instagram is set up. The others are set up like this too. They're all sort of playing on our emotions and our need to be affirmed and our need to feel like we're cool. Likes, comments, shares, all BS metrics. All don't mean a single solitary thing. All utterly, totally, and completely worthless. And yet pretty much everyone that I talk to or everyone that I talk about talks about how important it is you make engaging content, that you get likes, that you get comments, that you get shares. I have one common refrain that I've been uttering for this for a long, long time, which is, if I knocked on your door right now, picked you up, drove you to the local ATM machine, you show me the button on there for likes, comments, shares. Everyone tells me my work is beautiful. I was in a juried show. I won best in show. The last I checked, there's no button like that on the ATM machine because they are all BS metrics, okay? And so what most artists and photographers do is they go around chasing these metrics. I got such and such views and I got great engagement and I got great this and I got great that. And that is an utter, total, and complete recipe for failure, okay? The only thing that matters when you're doing your social media marketing is essentially four things, let's say. Did somebody send you a direct message inquiring about your art? Did someone leave a comment that is like a buying comment? Like, hey, Shane, this piece of artwork is amazing. Is it for sale? Okay, that's a win. Third, you get an email address. They either come to your site or they give it to an Instagram direct message. And the final is, did they buy your art? Okay, those are the only metrics that matter. You either have a hobby or you have a business. If you have a business, the only metric that matters are those, okay? That's it. What's extremely interesting, though, about what is possible in today's day and age on Instagram, especially when you're just getting started in small ball, is I like to use the fishing analogy, okay? Much of what we do in marketing is kind of like fishing. And if you've ever been fishing, you're out there in the middle of the ocean. You can't see but 1 foot or 2 foot down. Let's just say we're in normal waters. We're not in tropical waters. You throw your line in. You have no idea what's going on, right? The line is your marketing. You have no idea what's going on. It's in the water. You hope you catch something, but you can't see anything. You have no idea what's going on, right? Contrast that to sight fishing. And sight fishing is essentially when you're extremely shallow, clear water, tropical water, and you can see the fish. Or you could say to a certain extent, fly fishing. Same kind of thing where you can see the fish, and so you're throwing your line right in front of the fish and you're trying to catch them. Instagram offers us the opportunity to do what I like to call sight fishing. You have an instantaneous idea about who is listening, who is there. You can talk to them, you can have a conversation. And so I bring this up through the lens because I talk about this all the time and I get a lot of people that push back, right? I'll give you a perfect example. On office hours, we have a product called Office Hours. It's just like this. They're like in-person classes where we teach our customers how to do things 5 days a week. Customer tells me, you're not going to believe this. I had a reel go viral. And I'm like, that's amazing. You had a reel go viral. What happened? She's got a canvas in her studio and her cat went walking across the canvas, picked up a bunch of the paint, kept walking, and was doing little footprints on the desk, right? Over 1 million views on the reel. Super sweet. Awesome, right? By the way, if you ever want to have viral content, dog material, cat material, awesome. And I was like, yeah, so what happened as a result of that? And she's like, well, nothing. I go, what do you mean nothing? Did you get a sale? She's like, no. I was like, did you get anyone inquiring about your work? She's like, no. And I was like, you see how worthless the metrics are? That's a 1 million view cat video. Absolute, utter, total, and complete waste of time. So now let me tie it back to the sight fishing thing. With Instagram Reels, okay, you have the ability to create these, see who commented, respond to them. With Instagram Lives, you have the ability to see who comes on that broadcast, potentially have the conversation with them if they leave a comment, and you get to see that in real time. When you create Reels in general, you get to see who sends you direct messages, and those are the only metrics that matter, okay? Those are the only metrics that matter to get onto the road of actually selling art of photography. So when you do these things, and you guys are small and you're just getting started, understand the opportunity you have here when you don't care about likes and comments and shares, right? I go back to the example of my customer. I would have rather had her do a live broadcast where she was talking to two people, her mother and a prospective buyer, okay? And that prospective buyer sent her a direct message. That is more valuable than the million view viral cat walking across the canvas, okay? So as we're marketing, as we're going through this, I see so many people chasing the nonsense metrics. And when you don't chase the nonsense metrics, and when you realign your thinking, okay, to all that matters is if you have a valuable conversation with someone that's interested in your work, if someone sends you a direct message interested in the work, if someone gets an email on your list, or if someone eventually buys the work. When you realize that, you're not on the hamster wheel, okay? You're not playing the stupid dopamine hit, I feel good about myself game. All you're doing is creating content, and you realize that the only thing that you can control as an artist or a photographer is not the algorithm, it's not the view count, it's not whether or not your reel has stupid catchy music, and I'll go into this in a second. But the only thing that matters is how much of it are you producing, because you have the ability to reach a worldwide audience of art buyers every single solitary day for just pressing a button on the phone. That's it. That's it. And it's really, really, really a profound thing. I think it constitutes one of the biggest opportunities that exist for emerging artists and photographers that are trying to build their business right now. And it's actually really, really easy to do. Now, I might as well go through after that whole, rant, and I realize that my background image does not exactly make the phone easy to see, so I'm going to get something a little bit more contrasting. Just bear with me here for a second. What I want to do is I want to show you how easy it is to create reels and what it looks like. I've sort of been teaching on this all week here. Okay, this is a much better background. You'll be able to see the phone a little bit better. Okay, that works better. All right, so here we have the phone, right? And I'm in the Instagram app. And when you start in the Instagram app, you usually start on this little home screen. There's at the very bottom of the phone, there's a little home button. And again, if this is really small to see, just kind of casually listen, and you can watch it after the fact. So now I'm going to press this bottom right-hand corner button, which is looks like a person. And normally what you're greeted with is this little grid of images, and the grid above it, that is your entire Instagram feed. The next tab over are your Instagram reels, okay? And you can see at the top, there's a big plus sign, right? And so if I press this, I can press reel or I can press live, okay? I'm giving you a very quick, high-level, truncated version of this, but just bear with me. So a reel can be up to 90 seconds, okay? One thing that makes them extremely easy to create, because I know all of you guys are like, I don't want to show people what I had for breakfast or going for a walk, or some other such nonsense. Like I'm already showing my work off, right? But there's so many interesting things you can do with Instagram, and I want to just show you 3 quickly, okay? If you look at the bottom of the phone here, you can see how I'm scrolling across, and they have these little, whatever these things are, circles, right? One of them that's amazingly powerful is this one called green screen, right? And so this is the one I'm on now. Now, depending on which version of Instagram you have, whether you have an iPhone or whether you have an Android, you might see this when you're on your screen. You might not. If you don't, search YouTube how to find where it is for your phone, because sometimes that's what you have to do. But anyway, it's called green screen, right? So this is the default thing. Like I'm just going to start from scratch again. And don't worry that I have a real green screen behind me. You don't need the real thing. So I'm going to just come onto here. I'm going to press reel. Okay. I am going to scroll over to the green screen. Oops, stop. I screwed up already. Hold on. This is a small phone here. I'm used to a big one. So, okay, I'm going to press green screen, and you can see it instantaneously change the background, right? Very, very cool. So I'm going to change the background. I'm going to go to my camera roll, and I've taken a screenshot on my iPhone, okay? And I have it above me, and it's of a podcast. And you can see I can move my fat, ugly head around, okay? And if I press the green button, I'm into my reel, okay? And so I'm going to do one of these right now. And my point in showing you all of this in real time is how doggone easy this is, okay? You can screenshot anything. It can be any video. It can be of your work. It can be that you're a dog person. It can be that you're a cat person. It can be your process. It could be a thank you note. It could be work hanging up in your customer's house. And by the way, you can do this anywhere and no one knows what your background looks like. So you don't have to be embarrassed if your house is a mess or if your car is a junker or whatever else, right? And you don't have to do it in public, and it can be extremely interesting, right? And so I'm just going to go ahead and do this in real time. So just watch, okay? I'm going to press the green button. What's up, Instagram? Do you guys know we have a podcast, the Art Marketing Podcast, over 500,000 downloads, okay? Over 200 positive 5-star reviews on iTunes, a couple of 1-stars in there too, okay? Not a fan of everybody. But one of the most popular episodes on there, Merchandising 101, okay? Most artists and photographers get this totally wrong, okay? You have to have samples of your work. You have to show it off. I teach you how in that podcast. Go listen to it anywhere podcasts are found. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Acast, anywhere you go. Take a look, okay? I press stop, press next, press share. That song is so trendy right now everywhere I go. And it's now uploading, it's doing its thing. But did you see how quickly I did that? I mean, that was like 30, 45 seconds, right? And we have a decent following, so that thing will end up getting, I don't know, 200 or 300 views, right? Which is a BS metric I could care less. But what it might get, in that case, because I was promoting my podcast, is 1 or 2 subscribers, which is worth a whole heck of a lot more to me, right? And that was just so quick to author. And again, it's uploading. There it is. Now it's live. So you can see, there it is. Button. What's up, Instagram? Do you guys know we have a podcast, the Art Marketing Podcast, over 500,000 downloads, okay? Over 200 positive 5-star reviews on iTunes, a couple of 1-stars in there too, okay? Oh, shut up, you windbag. So I'm going to delete that one because I did the same thing earlier in the week and I don't want 2 of them. All right, so green screen. You guys, any screenshot you have, you can see, this is our CEO, Nick. He loves doing it too, so he'll grab comments on social media, right? He'll grab things off of the Facebook page. I'll just show you some more of the ones, the green screen ones. So here is an example of a video. You can record a video, okay, and throw it onto your phone and do the green screen. He is showing off the features of our website, right? And his head's right on top of it. And now he's showing off the 3D previews of our website. He's showing off the fact that you can put your images on cell phone. Like you can make so many of these and make them so creative and so compelling, okay? That it's really staggering, right? You can do announcements, whatever it is. The fact you're going to be at a local show, any and all of the above, totally makes sense, totally works, okay? So I really like those. The next one I want to show you, this one's awesome too. Now, the rub on these is, God, they make this so confusing. Even teaching it is confusing. When you go onto Instagram, okay, exactly like I just did, you can make a reel, right? And I showed you that, right? I went in here and I said, +, come on. Now it's angry with me for some reason. Okay, so I go on here and make a reel. This is officially a reel, okay? Which means it, in Instagram's eyes, this is a reel, an organic reel, a reel from scratch. You know, I have up to 90 seconds to talk, do whatever I did, so I made the green screen one, right? If you upload a longer than 90-second video to your feed, Instagram also calls that reel, but it's not an organic reel. If you do a live broadcast, okay, and that saves afterwards, Instagram turns that into a reel, but it's not a real reel. I know that's confusing as hell, but I just have to tell you. But I want to show you this, okay? So if I'm on my Reels page here, right, I can go to a reel that was recently made. I can look at the comments, all right? And here is a comment, and I can just say reply, all right, reply, and I can reply like I would to any other comment. But what I can do is I can reply to the comment with a reel. And this is really amazing. So I just press the blue button here, right? What it's going to do is it grabbed her comment, okay? And I can just grab the comment. I can't make the comment bigger, but I can make me bigger. So it grabbed her comment, all right? And what is her name? Her name is Olha, right? And I can now make a reel where all I'm doing is responding to her comment. And I can just say, hey, Olha, thank you so much for that positivity, those positive vibes on a Friday. I love people that comment with an upbeat thing like that. It keeps me motivated, and I really appreciate you. Boom, I'm done, right? Now, what's amazing about that, I'm not going to do this one live. I'm going to show you a couple of the other ones that I've done before. These things can get an insane amount of views, right? So here's one. I put it on there. You can put whatever you want, stickers, emojis, this, that, or the other. But what's amazing about this, you guys, is, you know, when you get those comments like this, your work is so beautiful. You're so talented. That's an incredible piece. You should sell it. You should start a business with this. Do you know what I do? I grab the comment and I go, thanks for that lovely comment, Patrick. To be honest with you, all the work for my site is on sale. Which piece are you interested in? Boom. And I click send, right? And so now you've created a reel. that responded to someone's comment. They can see the comment right above, and it's a subtle way of nudging all of your followers and letting them know, it turns out all this works for sale, right? Turns out all this work's available, and it notifies the person that left the comment directly. And Instagram loves these things, okay? It loves these things. And so if you look at our feed, you know, going back, like I get into it all the time. Like this one, like people always talk about the NFTs. NFTs are the biggest scam for Instagram you've ever seen in the history of mankind. If you get anyone contacting you about doing an NFT, just delete it and move on, okay? Save yourself the headache. Trust me, I know. But a fantastically, fantastically powerful way to do reels, okay? So I've shown you those two. I want to show you the final one, which in all honesty is my absolute favorite. And my favorite is you do an Instagram live, okay? You talk about a particular topic, whatever it is, you show a part of your process, you show yourself being human, you show you being you, what makes you tick, okay? And after it's done, it saves and it ends up being a reel, okay? And not only that, the reel goes into your feed. And I know, again, that this is totally confusing. Some of you guys are like, I've never done this. What am I doing? But just trust me on this. I will now go live in real time, okay? Start talking to my audience, and I'll be talking to 30 or 40 people, right? Just by pressing a button. Just by pressing a button. So understand how amazing, how powerful that is, right? Like, Mary Beth, you have a very compelling background with all your art. You could stick that phone right in front of where you are right now, come and do exactly what I'm doing right now and be talking to some portion of your audience. That's insane. That is absolutely insane, right? Like, I'm a kid that grew up on the Jetsons, and like the promise of the Jetsons was like you get the video phone, right? Now I'm going to go right into a live broadcast and just start teaching. So let me just show you. And again, I don't give a damn about video metrics, and you shouldn't either, right? Because if I press that button and I see that there's 20 or 30 or 40 people on there and they start leaving me comments, I know those metrics are real. I know those are real human beings because I can see them. It's not some nonsense. You got 10,000 views like Facebook is teaching me, right? Like, it's real. Real, as I'm talking about reels. Did you meant to do that? Didn't mean to do that. So, all right, let me just press here, okay? Same plus. And, you know, again, at the bottom, right, you have to make sure that you go to the bottom right-hand corner, and then the plus sign appears. I hit the plus sign. It's really hard on this little phone. Okay, I'm going to go live. This is a really cool thing before you go live. If you can see at the top of my phone right there, it's probably hard to see, but it says 39 followers are active right now. So that's Instagram giving me an idea of how many people are active right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go for it and start talking, because that's what I do. You're now live. What's up, Instagram? I know this is going to be a little meta. Meta works two ways because it is meta, and then I'm also doing this on Meta. But I'm actually in a Zoom session right now with a wonderful group of people, and I'm showing them just how easy it is to go live, okay? To go live, do a live broadcast, and instantaneously have the ability to communicate with my followers, all right? Doesn't matter if you have fancy lights. It doesn't matter if you have a green screen. You don't need it. It doesn't matter if you have a special microphone. I don't even have anything going on here. I just have something plugged in. And instantaneously, you can jump right into a conversation like this. Does somebody want to jump into this live, by the way, while you're there? If you request, I'll do the split screen right now. This is another feature. Hey, Michelle, what's going on? Nice to see you, right? And so here I am. I'm instantaneously talking to members of my audience, like, look, and Leslie here is requested to join the broadcast. Let's see if I can get Leslie here. Oh, good. I think I know Leslie. All happening in real time, by the way. In just a second, she'll come on, unless something happened with it. Sometimes it can be a little buggy. Oh, yeah, I'm going to have to go in here. So what happened? Oh, Leslie declined. You'll have to request again, Leslie. Try it again. Or Susan, why don't you request? I want to see. I'm showing off Instagram to a group of people right now, and I want to show people what the dual screen looks like. So if you guys want to request to be in it, please do so. I've actually never done this live in real time. But anyway, you guys can see people are leaving me comments, right? They're there. I'm having conversations with people. I know this is real. I know this is not BS. Right? Like when I was talking earlier about like site fishing, like I can see the fish here, right? Now, granted, some of these fish are my customers. So now I'm going to try going live with Michelle and see whether or not this works. It should. Sometimes you never know what the other person's connection is, and sometimes it goes right away, and sometimes it doesn't. Boom, there we go. What's up, Michelle? How you
Okay,
doing?
there I am. Yay!
Yep. So she was just in,
Hello.
and you were just in the Zoom too. So you're going to get double audio, which is going to make it a little weird. But how cool is that? How amazing is the fact that we were able to just do both of those things in 30 seconds? She was in the Zoom. She's in the
That's
Zoom now,
awesome.
right? And she's just now popped into the
Actually, I
phone.
turned it.
Yeah.
Oh, there's my.
Yeah. Yeah. There you
There's a
are.
lot of. I figure out what we go.
Yep. Now you got it. Now you sound great. So, I mean, how amazing is that, right? Like just for popping on, just doing that. And now my whole entire audience is seeing this conversation, right? That are watching live. You can see there's 10, there's 9, 11 people live. She's seeing it. And now what I'm going to do, thank you for doing that, by the way. I'm going to end it. Okay. I'm going to go end now. And it allows me to share it. Okay. And when I go to share it, I can give the thing a cover image, and you can either have one good to go, and right, I'll grab that one. And then I can give it a caption. I can give it hashtags if I want. And if I click share, which I'm going to do right now, it goes right into my feed. Okay? It goes right into my feed, and it is a little, and thanks again for doing that, Michelle. You're awesome. It's right into my feed now as a reel. So in a period of me taking 5 to 6 to 7, 10 minutes to teach you guys this, I've just created 3 pieces of content on Instagram, right? And again, I'm going to delete this one because the audio is bad and everything else. So I'm going to delete that one. Okay, boom. But you saw how easy that was. What's even more amazing is after you've created the reel, okay? After you've created the reel, and let's just grab this one, right? And this is one Nick, our CEO, did just a few minutes ago. If I come onto the reel itself and I hit the paper airplane icon, okay? In one click, I can add this thing to the story.
And guys, when you're an artist or photographer and you've got flawless, great print on demand behind you, when somebody orders from your website and you have automated fulfillment
Okay, I hear this all day. I need to hear it. But I was able, just by hitting that paper airplane icon, to throw that thing into the Instagram story, right? And if you look at our Instagram stories, I don't have enough of them going on today. There's one. Click next. This is the one that I did earlier from my car, right? And all I did was record it already. It's already a thing. Now I just put a must watch on it. And it essentially takes that live broadcast, which is now a reel, and throws it into the story. So people can click on it, they can go watch video, and they go directly to the video. So in a period of what, like 10 minutes, 12 minutes, I could have just created 6 to 7 to 8 pieces of content for Instagram. That's a big deal. That's insanely easy. All of you guys can do that. All of you could potentially up the amount of material that you're creating for Instagram Reels. And, I know many of you are like, I'm not a social media marketing expert. I don't want to be a social media marketing expert. I don't like being on camera. This is annoying. I get it. Okay. I don't like being on camera. I have the face for radio. But you know what? I'm contrarian enough to know that in today's day and age, if I want attention, I have to work for it. And it's no different for you guys. And I'm telling you, I've not seen anything as efficient and as effective on Instagram or just about anywhere where you can create this portion of content this quickly. And when you do this for any period of time, you realize that, okay, reels, the feeds, stories, this arbitrage, use trending music, you're going to get higher view counts. All of it's nonsense, okay? The meta algorithm likes this, it likes that. All of that is nonsense. No one can track that. No one knows what that is. None of it matters. All that matters today in social media, the only thing an artist, a photographer, or us as a brand can control is how consistent you are. Because really what it comes down to is serendipity. It comes down to a situation where I'm in the supermarket, it was getting a little crowded, and so you get into one of those races, right, where you pick a lane, and someone else is over there, and they're going to pick a lane. Which one are you taking? Which one are you taking? I accidentally went into the wrong one, okay? I now have somebody in front of me that looks like they have about 250 things in their shopping cart. Doesn't matter. I'm in now. I can't change. I've already made my decision. Out comes the phone, okay? I'm now on Instagram going through things, and because David posted 10 minutes before, I just saw his art, okay? I just saw his art. It's about consistency. And literally the only metric that matters, the only thing that the artist and the photographer can control is how consistent are you posting? How consistent are you doing it? That is like a muscle, like any other muscle. You start exercising it and you get better, but like contemplate the screenshot thing. How many things could you guys screenshot that are interesting, that are part of what you're trying to sell, have in the phone, and then you're sitting there, you're waiting to pick up your kids, and you're in the line, you're wherever you are, boom, you're just dropping a couple of them, boom, you're dropping a couple of them, boom, you get some comments, you get someone who gives you a message, and then the next thing you know, have a customer. That's the game. That's the game right now, and I don't know any easier way to do it. There's only three kind of artists, okay, that are successful in today's day and age. Photographers too, same thing. And I mean the ones that are trying to sell art, not necessarily like a service business or they're doing something else. Either you're in a gallery, and the number of people that are in a gallery and only in a gallery and they're making over 6 figures a year is kind of like the amount of people that we know that play sports versus professional athletes. That's how low those odds are to make it. So good luck with that. Okay, if that's you, fantastic, but good luck with that. The next are the road warriors that do 20, 30, 40 in-person shows a year, okay? Setting up the booth, staying in the hotel, on their feet 8 hours a day in the sun, and then doing that for years and years. I see those ones being successful. Or it's the ones that figure out how to market and promote themselves on social media and where attention is today and being contrarian. So I think this is a great way to go about it. I think it's awesome. I think how many people you can reach is incredible. It is also a damn grind, and it is especially a damn grind year one, and it is not easy. It is actually quite miserable, and you're pulling your hair out of your head, and you're doing things that you've never done before in your entire life, and that's the game. That's the game, but if you can commit to it, I don't believe there's ever been a better time to be an artist, to be a photographer, and to not have to leave your house for the most part, and to be able to reach all of these various different folks. So very, very interested in it. And as a final, some of you guys have personal Instagram accounts. Some of you guys have business accounts. You can switch back and forth between one or the other at any point in time. What I argue is the only metric that matters in today's day and age is you go to this little hamburger menu up top, and a thing comes up called Insights. I'm going to go ahead and click on Insights, and automatically it gives you a date range. Okay, and so I'm going to go down. It always does this annoying scrolling thing. I have such a tiny phone. So I'm going to go this week, and it'll only let me do Sunday through Thursday of this week. But if I look through Sunday, Thursday of this week, I can see we did 3 posts, 33 stories, 36 reels, 7 videos, 12 live videos. So what is that? Like almost 80 pieces of content, right? By the director of marketing at this company, by the CEO of this company. Why do you think we're doing that? Because it's that effective, you guys. It's that effective. And so literally the only thing that you can control as the artist or the photographer is what is that number that you're doing on a weekly basis. And if you're increasing that number, my contention is that your business is going to start growing. When you further have the perspective that if you get good at this and you stick to it for a year and a half, 2 years, all of a sudden you're going to have sales. All of a sudden you're going to have an email list. All of a sudden you're going to have a growing following. And all of a sudden when you go live, you're going to be talking to 20 people like I just did. It's an amazing, amazing thing. Okay. There's a lot of moving pieces on that. We'll go to Q&A. Open it up. And how does the Q&A work? If you're one of the brave ones and you have your camera on, you can raise your hand. I usually see that. For everyone else, at the bottom of the Zoom window, there's this little smiley face thing, and it says reactions. And if you click that, there's a way to raise your hand, digitally speaking. That lets me know, hey, you have a question, and I'll come on. Love to bring you on. What else? I really need a one-to-one follow-up. Please slow down. Yeah, Michael, I see your please slow down. If I went to my mom's house, because I still have the boxes of crap in my mom's house, she doesn't live that far away, and I went and got the report card out from like 2nd grade, it would say with the teacher, please tell Patrick he needs to slow down. They've tried, Michael, to slow me down. I've tried to slow me down. It just hasn't happened yet. So you gotta watch the replay. I go so fast. But who wants to kick us off with a question? Who's got a first question today? Raise your hand if you're one of the camera ones. And I should also mention, don't feel like you have to turn your camera on if you don't want to. Okay, I hate being on video. If this was my job, you would have no idea what I look like. But you can also throw questions into the chat. I can answer those. I'll do that while you guys are coming up with whether or not you want to be the first one today. So in the Zoom chat, Michael's like, slow down. I got the slow down. Sonia, I see that the mechanics are intuitive. Any strategy behind the actual content that's being created? Yeah, that's a great question. Variants of that question, Sonia, are what are the best times of day to post? Like, when should I post, right? Or what should the creative this, that, and the other be? And then what my customers do? My customers will be like, Patrick, I took your advice. I went and posted twice, and I looked at the metrics, and I don't know what to do yet. And I'm like, really? you posted twice and you looked at the metrics and you don't know what to do yet. Of course you don't know what to do yet, okay? How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice. Go do 150 of them and then do a pause and then see what works. I don't know what works. I don't know what makes you guys tick. I don't know what makes you guys interesting, okay? I don't know what your work looks like. And you'll never figure out when the best time to post is or what content people like or whether you need trending music or not until you start shipping, until you start doing some of them, okay? Then after you do, you're like, okay, people are responding to this, people are responding to that. I don't even stress about any of that. I find that the way that I keep myself motivated and the best time of day to do it is when I have the creative impotence to do it, right? Like, I'll read a comment from somebody on social media. It'll send me into a spin. I will get all fired up and I'll turn the phone on and I'll just start yelling. And that's what I created for that day. And I was fired up about it. I was inspired and I did it. It can be anywhere doing what you're doing. And it's no different than reps and sets, right? Like, you know, if you cook, I love cooking. To be really, really good at cooking, even if I get a new recipe, like I got to do that thing like 25, 30 times. And then I know I've nailed it, right? Like I can do it. I can do that thing to perfection. And so when you approach this with you know, an open mind and I'm willing to practice is when everything in your business starts changing. It really, really, really starts changing. Okay, Larry is asking if you're a metal sculpture artist. Yeah, it still applies to you, Larry. It doesn't change anything. You know, the metal sculptor artist is no different than us, the software salesman, right? Or art platform, whatever the heck we sell. I don't even know. You know, we're all needing more attention if we want to grow our businesses. We have to be contrarian and go where it is. So all of it still works. And yeah, Adam, it doesn't matter if you're starting from scratch or not. I don't know if you saw my earlier comment, but you know, Reels have really leveled the playing field because you can have two people on following you on Instagram, your mother-in-law and your significant other, okay, or your mother and your significant other, and you could post things that can get seen by hundreds of people. Hundreds of people will eventually start following you. Some small portion will start following you, and that's how you start building a business. Michelle, you're up.
Okay. So I have a question for you. What do you suggest or advise for someone like myself who's fairly new? I just started painting a year ago. I still think that most of my art sucks, but I'm selling art.
Okay, so that is the only thing that matters. And well, one little disclaimer: have we sold the art to people not named mother, dad, father, brother, family, friends?
Oh yeah,
strangers.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, my family hasn't bought my art.
Well, if you're selling it to strangers, then you're on the right track. That's a very, very good sign. There's a lot of people that struggle and don't get to that point for like 2 years. So the fact that you're doing that already places you well ahead of most.
So I haven't been using any social media. I'm actually kind of scared to.
But you were just on Instagram. You figured it out in 2 seconds.
I just started using Instagram.
Got it.
And my account is still kind of closed because I have trolls out there. So people have to ask for permission to follow me. And I know that's not good, but I'm selling art. And so now I'm thinking, after listening to you, that I need to be on Instagram more and showing up more.
100%. So. And I want to talk about trolls because it's so hard, right? It's so hard and it can be so defeating and like totally sap your energy and everything else. And worse so for females because, you know, half my customer base is female and, you know, they'll show me the screenshot sometimes on these office hour sessions about like the super creepy, sexually gross freaking comments that you guys get. So what I would say is that in this world that we live in social media especially, and especially in social media with Instagram, where, you know, the comment is not from Patrick Shanahan, right? It's from, you know, Surfer Chick 96231, right? Like with no identity whatsoever. So they don't need to be accountable on anything. Is you can't let it get you down, okay? And you immediately ban the people that are bad. And also I found that like a great little way to think about it, you know, for the ones that just attack you and say nasty things and say your art sucks and all of that. And by the way, I see this every single solitary day. And occasionally I look after I've had a drink or two, and then sometimes I really get into it. And I've had to like teach myself over the years to like just stop doing that. So now when I'm really on one, I'll like type out a diatribe right? And then I'll just delete it because I find that to be kind of cathartic. But what I've learned over the years doing this, and let me qualify that. I spent tens of millions of dollars on Facebook and Instagram ads. Okay, tens of millions of dollars. You can imagine how many comments I've seen. We're human beings. We don't respond great to criticism. Okay, I mean, I've been called everything under the sun too, by the way. We don't respond great to criticism, and our thought when we see these things is, it gets us, it hurts us, right? Like it cuts us to the core. And it's funny. I'm a huge soccer fan. Somebody left a comment about this, and there's a lot of the soccer players on teams in today's day and age that no longer have it on their phone because it's really messing with them mentally, because that fan base is just lighting them up and everything else. But here's how I approach it. I've trained myself to approach it with empathy, because what I've realized is, as human beings, we think we go create the content, we put ourselves out there, we get this nasty comment. We think that that is a mirror that is somehow reflecting who we are, what we created, the work, the way that we did the language, how we look, all of those things. We think it's a mirror that's reflective of us. And what I found is it's a window into who they are, to how broken they are as a person, to how bad a time that they're having in their life right now, to how upset they are about something, to the fact that they might be dealing with mental illness. It's all of those things and then some. And when you realize that, you get some empathy and you just delete and you move on. You delete and you move on. So that's the easiest thing I can tell you on the comments.
Okay.
Window, not a mirror. Get going. If you figured that all out already, you're already cooking with gas. So I want to see a live broadcast today. You got it. Michelle, you got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, the studio background is legit. I want to see it today. Is your Instagram, well, the fact that we just chatted tells me your Instagram account's already public. It's not private anymore, right?
You still have to ask for permission to follow me. I haven't turned that off yet.
Go turn that off. Turn that off right now. Just do
I have to figure that out.
Yeah, just do it. It's a little bit muddy when you have like a personal account versus a business account. You kind of have to make that decision, right? But what I would probably do is keep what you have now, because it's much easier to start a business with some followers on there. And then if you want a personal account later, go start another personal account and follow your best friends, right? And then just have one just for that. Okay. But set it to public. You go live. You tell me when you're ready to go live. You raise your hand. We're all going to come on the broadcast and we're all going to comment.
OMG, like now?
Oh, like now? We're shipping it now. Let's do this. We got to get this done. Michelle, it's Friday. Everybody's in a good mood.
Okay.
All right. So I'm coming back to you. You tell me when you're ready.
Okay.
All right. Okay, Larry, you're up next. Go ahead, Larry. And then Shane, I'll get you. I saw your hand. And you'll need to unmute, Larry. It's like the microphone icon, bottom left-hand corner. So you hit that thing once and yep. Are you there, Larry? Okay, Larry, while you're figuring out your mic, I'm going to go grab Shane. And then, Larry, if you unmute, just sit there for a second. After I get Shane, I'll come back for you. All right, Shane, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Patrick. Just going to your when you did the live and you saw that there were 40 plus followers that were active now. Do they get a notification that pops up on their phone that says Art Storefront is now live, or how do they know when to come?
So if they're in the app, it will show at the very top and they follow you. If they don't, it's a little hit or miss though. It's a little hit or miss, and it's easy for me to say it because we've got 50,000 followers, right? So there's always going to be people. Yeah. When you guys get started, it's going to be much harder, right? It's like onesies, twosies. Oh, right? Yeah. And God bless this gentleman today. I want to show this because this is it's kind of cool. And it had me encouraged a little. Let me see. Go to here. Go to comments. So hold on. It's like, a journey. He's going to kill me for showing this off, but I don't think he will. Let's see. Is that where it is? Yeah. Okay. Hold on. So here, where is it? Doggone it. I saw it earlier. More than likely, nobody actually looks at these comments, but here goes. I did a live art show yesterday. It was 10 minutes long. Let's go to his profile. So here he is, 2,100 followers, right? Look how cool this is.
Okay, I have started a live video here, apparently.
He's like, is this working? I don't know if it's working. How's it going? Right? You know, I don't know if I'm there yet, but you know, that's how it starts. That's how it starts, right?
Yeah.
Like, I remain convinced that it's not everybody wants to go do the in-person Theresian shows. The in-person Theresian shows are extremely effective. Not everyone can do that all the time. We have lives, it's busy, it's expensive, This is as good as it gets. And in terms of being able to get attention without spending a bunch of money on ads or other things. So I'd say go for it.
And I have one more thing to ask you.
Yeah.
I have managed you over the years. At some point in time, like Shane Roberts is actually a combination of my first name and middle name.
Okay.
My last name has been completely left out of the picture. That's how my Facebook profile is showing up. That's how my Instagram is showing up, and then the actual website by Shane. When in fact in real life I go by Robert. Yeah. But that's how it's been kind of done. Yeah. And is that okay?
Don't worry about that in the slightest. Don't worry about that in the slightest. Just keep motoring on. Later down the line, if you want to unify it, you can unify it, but it's not going to hurt you in the short term.
Yeah.
Okay. Get rocking. Thanks, Shane. Okay, Michelle, I see you're ready to go. Just sit tight for me. Larry got his mic unmuted. I'm going to grab him, and then I'll come to you. Go ahead, Larry.
Yes, I'm just wondering. A lot of my stuff is very heavy, and I'm not really practical to ship. And I do local 50, 75-mile radius. And how does I've been doing this for 20 years, local.
Okay.
And did craft shows.
I mean, how heavy are we talking? They're like 500 to 600 pound sculptures or something like that, or 300 or 400.
Well, they're not that heavy. They're manageable. They're 50, 75 pounds, but bulky.
You can ship those.
No, they're too big. They're too big to ship. They're bottle trees.
Yeah, too big. Yeah, okay, I got you. Actually, now I really want to see. I really want to see one, Larry. How can we see a bottle tree? What does that look like?
It's strictly a regional folk art. But I'm a retired horticulturist. And I build them like trees, and so anyway, how can I get I've got pictures, but how do I get a picture up here for you to see?
You can drag it into the chat actually, and it should show.
Okay.
So like if you click the chat, it'll come out, which would be cool.
All right, I will try that.
Yeah. I wonder if there's like a trucking service that you could get. I mean, because if they're cool enough and they're unique enough and they look awesome in a backyard, there's got to be a trucking service that would truck them. But
there are trucking services, and I've used them in the past until they changed the rates up. Until now, the rate is just
ridiculous.
More of an extra the cost of the tree.
Yeah.
I used to ship them almost nationwide, except California, for $75. Wow. But now it's like $500.
Gotcha. Well, yeah. Well, drag a photo into the chat if you can, or if it's published on the website anywhere. I'd love to see what they look like. But what else did you have? What else did you have in terms of questions?
Well, I do wall sculpture, line drawing, made out of twisted wire and so forth, and those are starting to move pretty good, and those are shippable.
Yeah, those for sure are shippable. And, like if somebody wants the other piece bad enough, they'll pay for the shipping, so you're in the same boat as all the rest of us, which is you got to get people's attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Let me, I will
try to get that sorted out. We're going to watch Michelle go live. And then if you need me to come back, Larry, I will. Sonia, sit tight for me for 1 second. I want to see this. Are you ready, Michelle? Tell me what your Insta handle is. I got to follow you. Tell all of us. If anyone else has the phone and wants to see Michelle do this in real time, these are really fun to do. You'll need
Michelle Joy Brown dash. No.
Throw it. Will you throw it in the chat? Throw it in the chat so everyone else can see it. If any of us else want to get in there.
Patrick, you really think I know what I'm doing, right?
No, I know you don't know what you're doing. I could care less. I want you to do it right now. I just like your personality. All right, so Michelle
Joy Brown.
Joey Brown. Yeah, you got to throw it in the chat. And you guys, let's give her a follow for being for putting up with my nonsense. Michelle Joy.
Oh Jesus.
Michelle Joy Brown _artist, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna follow back. All right, so Shane, watch us because this is what you'll get to see when she goes live. We'll see whether or not it pops. All right, yeah. So just mute on the Zoom and go for it. I'll pull it up here and then we'll just see how you go. Okay, let me get it up on the screen. Whoop. Here we go. All right, so what should happen is the little circles should heat up. You see how I just heated up and it went live? Sometimes it gives a notification.
Brown coming to you guys, and for you that know me, I have become an artist. So the pictures behind me, you're gonna see. For you that know me, I have become an artist. This is my.
Now you did it. I'm super proud of you. And I would just delete that one, Michelle, just because it's your first one. Don't worry about it. You can delete it. But you saw how easy that was to do. It was awesome. And you inevitably would have had some friends because you have 186 followers who would have popped on. They'd been like, "No way! I didn't know you were going live. How'd you do that?" Right? Like it's just cool. It's just cool. It's just such a killer way. You have to unmute.
Okay, now I have to figure out how to delete it. But thank you.
Yeah. So that's how easy it is. So everybody give her a follow. Give Michelle a follow. Help her out. It helps early on, right? And we got to keep her accountable and see that she keeps doing it, which is really, really important. But okay, thank you. You're the best, Michelle. Sonia, you're up next. Go ahead, Sonia. And thanks for being patient.
No, you're fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Let me. So my question, I posted it in the chat. Is about if you, like, say your output, just your art output is relatively low, or you just don't have a lot of pieces on hand. Is it? I mean, like, or if you're in between creating things, if life happens.
Mm-hmm.
What? Again, it's another content question. Would you suggest just doing content that's about what I'm thinking through about right now, or do we just look at
So you have to get creative, right? Like if you only have one or two pieces, then you're like, okay, how the hell am I going to talk about one or two pieces over and over and over again, right? It's hard. So there's a bunch of different creative ways to do that. But one of the things I find that like artists routinely don't realize is that your brand, your niche is part the work and it's part you. What makes Sonia tick? Is she a dog person or a cat person? Does she like eating? Is she a foodie? Does she exercise? Does she do CrossFit? What are her passions? Like the consumer, the art consumer, end up getting bonded to the artist in equal measure on the work that they create as we do with what makes them tick, what makes them interesting, right? Their personality, who they are. And it's really, really important to know that and understand that. And so, when you can't do art all the time, you can do some of that stuff. You can do stuff that impresses you. You can do stuff that inspires you, and give people a little look into your world, right? It doesn't have to be everything. It doesn't have to be all the intimate details, but you got to just give things, put yourself out there and give us a little window into your world so we can get bonded with you. And that's quite literally how it goes.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Sonia. All right. Crystal, you're up next. Go ahead, Crystal.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure. I got you.
Okay. So kind of the big piggyback off of Sonia. Exactly, like I've been doing art for like 2 years, but I don't think I've actually found my voice. I think I found it, but then I think I don't. And I have some work, I have sold some, but does the voice really matter, or just kind of like I don't know, because as far as marketing goes, marketing has always been my downfall.
Are you kidding me, Crystal? You and every single solitary person on this call, you and all 10,000 of my customers, it is the number one thing that artists and photographers struggle with, especially being consistent, because it's really, really hard, right? So what I would say is you don't know what your brand, your voice, your niche is yet, because you're too new. It might change 6 or 7 times. You might never have one, right? Like early on, I feel like I've been doing this a long time. Okay, I've literally talked to tens of thousands of artists at this point in time. We have 10,000 customers at art storefronts. I would say the majority of them don't have the niche. They haven't gotten there yet, right? And like when I say that, I mean like there are certain artists that we have where you see one of their piece and then you see two and then you see three and then you'll never miss it ever again. You're like, boom, that's them, right? Like, boom, I know in 2 seconds who that is. Okay. I could give you a really cool example on the cell phone, but I have just as many that are all over the map. I mean, they're doing some art, they're doing some abstract, there's photos in there, there's like sculptures, like, and it does fine. It does fine because you're the brand just as much as the art is the brand. And there's no rule that says you have to be one or the other at all. Like I noticed the crossover, like it is, let me put it this way. I have extremely successful customers doing it both ways, doing it every which way. I mean, I always use this photographer as an example because I think it's so funny. He like lives in the Minneapolis, St. Paul area, you know, like around there. And he would go out at night and get like really cool landscape type of shots of like bridges and industrial stuff. Okay. And that's what he started doing. Then he decided he also really likes a certain park that might or might not have something to do with a mouse. And so he goes into that park, sets the tripod up, gets photos of all these amazing rides. And now that's what his website is. It's half stuff with the mouse, half the industrial stuff. And both of it sells. It's like, well, what niche is that? He's all over the place. Those two things are not even close, you know? And it's just because people like his eye and they like who he is. So don't worry. Don't worry. Keep plugging away and don't feel like you need to have your style, your niche, your voice nailed down yet. You just keep shipping, keep creating the work and see what sells. What might happen is there's this thing called Pareto's Law, okay? It's called the 80-20 rule. And for some reason, it just emerges all over the place. And so let's say for the next year, you have 3 or 4 different styles, and we get to the end of the year, and I'm like, Crystal, let's look at the books. Where do we land? If 20% of the work that you created is giving you 80% of the income in the business, you now have your niche. Do more of the 20%. Forget that other stuff. But just as often, it might be 10% of this sold and 30% of this sold and 40% of that sold and 25, you know, and if that's the case, just keep creating, just keep doing you. Don't worry.
Okay. Thank you. I needed that.
Yeah, my pleasure. Don't worry. Don't worry. It can take years and years and years to figure it out. All right, Joshua, you're up next.
Hi, how you doing, Patrick?
Good.
Yeah, so first and foremost, thanks for this information. I feel definitely encouraged and inspired. I'm a new artist, started this year, and one of the things that I struggle with, it's gonna sound like a broken record at this point, but like everyone else, struggling with just what to put out there, and I think we probably overthink this thing. But I just wanted to say, like, as you were talking, one of the ideas I came up with is like, have you seen this? Have you done this? But have you like posted live about specific art pieces and like major content mostly around specific pieces and just go in and out from there? Or do you do
all day?
Okay.
Like literally the only thing that matters is that you press the damn button and you go live, because you press the button, you create that reel, because you never know. And no one can tell you what's going to work for you. Right. So you got to just use the creativity and go for it. And again, I find time and time again that just by doing it and, hitting things here, hitting things there, it's always the stuff that I least expect that ends up getting me the results that I'm after. Right. And the only reason I know, like stated another way, it's a game of archery or a game of golf, if you like. In archery, you can't just fire one arrow and you're done. You had your training, you got your exercise. In golf, you can't just hit one ball, right? You have to hit a whole bunch. Like it's just a great way to think about it.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right. No, thank you. This is helpful.
Yeah. Thanks, Josh. Or Joshua, I should say. Okay, Adam, you're up next. Go ahead, Adam.
Hi, Patrick. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure can.
So I'm still at the point of trying to decide whether to move forward with art storefronts. I've never sold any of my art. I take pictures. I bought my first camera when my daughter was born because I wanted to take pictures of her. I enjoy it. I've got lots of images that over the years people have said, oh, you should really try to sell that somewhere. Someone would buy that. These, the one that I've got is my virtual background right now. I took those a couple of years ago. We had these giant mushrooms popped up in our yard, and I've had people the last couple of years that see those and say, you should really be trying to sell those pictures. People would buy those pictures. So I'm thinking about this and I'm looking at through my list of all the things, and what you just said about your friend resonated with me. You know, he's taking these industrial pictures and pictures of bridges and lighthouses is what I do too. But then I've also got this. And I'm thinking that this would be like a good thing to start with potentially. But I'm looking at some of the information, and as I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to do this at all, I'm thinking it makes sense because I've got a limited number of pieces that I would eventually want to sort of try to sell. Would it make sense to start with just a group of these images and then build from there? Or
100,000% it does. And there's a number of different reasons for that. And I want to make the point two ways. One, the amount of times that I've heard all just get started when. I'll just get started when I have enough pieces. I'll just get started when I get the bank account launched. I'll just get started when I know what my niche is. I'll just get started, right? And then the minutes turn into hours, turn into days. How's that art business coming? It never got started. No forward steps are ever taken. And that's just like something that's endemic to the art community. And that advice applies 1,000% whether you sign it with us or you go it alone, right? Like, you got to get started. You'll never know until you start trying, right? The other thing is, none of us, no one can tell you, not your friend, not your family, not strangers. The only thing that can tell you that you're onto something, with what you're doing, is commerce taking place. Is the art being sold to strangers? Okay. So that's very, very important. So as you contemplate art storefronts, I think the commitment that you need to make, okay, or what you need to, your own personal come to Jesus, is how bad do you want it? Right? How bad do you want it? Are you like and I should say, this is under the backdrop that I know you haven't sold anyone yet, right? So I don't know if the work is going to make it. You don't know if the work is going to make it. No one can tell you. The only thing that you can do is you can get it out there and you find out whether or not the product sells. So what you do need to decide is now the time I want to do this? Am I going to make this work no matter what? If the subject matter material that I've chosen works, fantastic. If it doesn't, is that going to utterly, totally, and completely deflate me and I'm going to want to quit? So if it's going to be, yeah, that might deflate me, I want to quit, then don't do it. But if you feel like, I want to make this happen, I've always wanted to make this happen, I know it fulfills me, I know it makes me happy, I'm going to go into this saying that I'm going to start the damn business and I'm going to make this work. And you know what? If the huge, gigantic mushrooms, and by the way, that thing is a gigantic mushroom, and the small figures doesn't work, am I willing to try one of my other passions and make it work till I get there? Then 100% sign up and do it.
Well, and that's part of my question too, is these gigantic mushrooms. Yes, I've had people tell me that they like these and it was a lot of fun, but it really was just this random happenstance that these huge mushrooms grew one year. I haven't seen them since then.
Yeah.
So I got these really, this really nice series of images, but I've also got a lot of other things that I like to take pictures of. I've got my bridges and my sunflowers and different kinds of plants and animals, and I've got a whole bunch of things. And I've been going through my list of the last several years of photos. I think I found about 100 things that I think would potentially sell. But would I be putting myself in a bad position if I start off with just this little niche kind of thing and then try to build out to the other things and see what works?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Early on, it is throwing everything against the wall and seeing what sticks. That's all it is. And it doesn't.
That's the other big question for me too, is I know absolutely nothing about marketing, which is why Art Storefronts is intriguing to me, because I'm going to get this daily marketing plan to tell me how can I start reaching, how can I start getting those eyeballs and getting people interested in what I'm doing?
Yeah, we're 100% going to force you to find out, right? That's the, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That's what it comes down to, right? Like, for everything that we do, we get our customers marketing. Like, you saw it with Michelle, right? Like, I could have had a presentation where I would have been like, Michelle, it would be great. Here's your homework. Go do it. It's like, no. We are doing it right now. Let's go. Right? Let's go. And it's that type of an attitude all year long, where you finally find out. You find out, is this gonna work, or is this gonna work? Is this gonna work, or is this gonna work? Because no one knows until you start getting in front of eyeballs. And what I hate is I hear from so many different artists and photographers that this is like the vicious cycle. This inspires me, I'm going to create the thing. And then you go and create the thing. And then you don't get it in front of enough eyeballs to even know whether or not it'll going to sell. And then you're like, okay, I'm moving on to the next thing. It's like, no, we don't even know if you hit something there or not. You didn't get it in front of enough eyeballs, right? It's like we live in some like 18th century English village, and you're like growing fruits and vegetables on your land, and then you don't take the damn cart into the city center. Like, take the card to the city center. Those things might sell. We got to find out, you know? And everyone just dumps the card out and like, I'll store this in the shed and go do the next thing. Like, that is not what you want to do. You want to find out. You'll never know. It might be something you have already. It might be something you haven't even done yet. But until you get started, you'll never find out, right? You'll never find out.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Adam. Totally unique niche, by the way. Totally like channels into like the, you know, that whole British thing with the garden gnomes and everything else. Kind of a vibe. Very, very unique. Very unique, I would say that. Yeah, it's funny. So Michelle said Betty Franks, and I was saying this to Crystal earlier. I'm going to pull her up. I love this woman. I mean, she's amazingly talented, and she just grinds all the time. But she is an example of, once you see one of her pieces, you can't not see her pieces. Betty is one of the few artists, okay, that has a niche. There's no question what her niche is. There's no question what the colors look like. There's no question what the art looks like. Once you've seen one, you know in a second, okay, that is a Betty Franks piece, right? That is a Betty Franks piece. By the way, amazing. She's in Croatia right now. And I swear, like, I don't know how old her mother and father are, but why do these Croatian people not age? You know, they just don't age. What is in the air or the water out there? I need to spend more time out there instantaneously. Good question. Ryan's asking, should I make an announcement in messages that I'm going live? No, not until you've done 30 of them. Just go. Just go. Don't let anything get in the way and stop you from just going and doing it, okay? None of us are professional actors. None of us have hair. None of us have makeup. We all live in normal houses. No one cares. Get on with it, right? People so respect people in today's day and age, you know, just for being real. Like, just be real. Be real who you are. No one cares, right? Like, authenticity is like such an interesting thing. It's funny because, you know, my ads team shares ads internally, right? And let me pull this up. You guys will get a kick out of this. Like, do you know what ads are working on Facebook right now? It's stuff like this. It's stuff like this. Please buy our affordable ice bath. Our marketer quit, right? And the point of it is, like, people are so sick and tired of like the polished, you know, perfectly coiffed hair, like perfect photo retouching. It's like, that's not you. That's not real. We're so sick and tired of seeing all these people on Instagram, you know, that are making minimum wage. And they're like, here's my gold chain and me getting on a jet. And here's my Mercedes. And here I am courtside at the Lakers game. It's like, stop it. That's not your real life. Like, people are really switched in right now to realness. And so I think it's, you know, I think it's an important thing to, you know, hone in on, I would say. All right, I'm running out of steam. Any finals, guys? Any final questions? I should say, if you haven't checked us out already, if you're like, what are we doing? What can we do? What's interesting? Definitely get a demo. The demo is the test drive of all our software, all the back end stuff, all the forward end stuff, all the plans, all the pricing, all of that jazz. And you can schedule those anywhere on our site. There's buttons all over the place. So that's what I would say. Sonia's like, hey, can you audit my IG while I'm at it? I've talked myself into circles, Sonia. If you come back on another one, I will 100% do it. And yes, Adam, you can post them spontaneously. You should post them spontaneously all the time, right? Will you guys come back? I'm out of steam on a Friday. I'm exhausted, and you know, I would be happy to audit all of yours. You're not going to like me auditing all of yours. I can talk about it briefly. Like, the way to think about Instagram is it's from multiple social networks inside of one social network. Okay, multiple inside of one. You have, and look at the phone on the screen if you guys can. Okay, so you have what is called your profile here up top. Very, very important. You have what your logo looks like. Okay, you have your follower count. You have your description. You have your ability to place your one link. Although some of us have access now to multiple links. But anyway, you have your ability to place your one link. You have these guys here, which are story highlights, okay? At the top, you have what your stories are. Then, okay, you have the feed, which is full of posts. And then you have your Reels tab, which holds all of your Reels. Each one is a social network within the other, within a social network for a number of different reasons. And the reasons are, it's kind of like when you go to a house party and everybody kind of splits up to different rooms and they usually like hang out in those rooms and stay for a little while. That's kind of what it's like. Some people want to hang out in the living room. Some people are going to spend the whole party in the backyard. Some people are going to be in the kitchen, right? And they kind of just hang out there. Instagram's kind of like that. Some people will come onto Instagram and only do the stories, and that's it. They won't do anything else. Some people will scroll the feed, and that's what they do. They scroll the feed. Some people will just get lost in Reels, and some of those people won't go to any of the other places. And so you have to have exposure on all of the various different content types, okay? Very, very, very important concept. And so you need to be posting to all of them. And if I come to your feed and I see a not high resolution logo, okay, I see 0 followers, I see a description that doesn't tell me who you are, what makes you tick, what makes you interesting. You don't have a link that's pointing back to somewhere, and I don't see story highlights, okay, which are these guys, topic for another session, and I don't see a thing full of posts with interesting content in it, then it tells me, it communicates to me that this is an artist that's not taking their marketing seriously. This is an artist that's likely not on the up and up. This is an artist that nobody wants to follow. And so it makes me feel slightly less inclined to make that purchase, okay? So there's sort of a minimum credit check to the entire thing that you sort of need to pay attention to and that you want to be switched on and aware of. And so that's sort of how I like to argue about it. And, you know, I did promise to do some audits today. I feel like I've already gone long on everything else. Independent of the audits, I want to know who else is going to ship. Okay, Michelle did one already. Who else is going to do one right now? And I mean right now. I want to see it right now. I need Mary Beth. I mean, are we going? Are we going on a Friday? Look at Mary Beth. I got all scared yet. I mean, what are we doing it? Yeah. So Margot, ship just means who's going to do a live right now that we're going to watch. Shane, you got David. One of you guys. Let's go. It's Friday. Okay, what do we have to lose? Who's going to do one? Sonia, see, that's what I'm talking about. Sonia, throw your Instagram handle in there. Let me see what you got. So I can follow you. Before you do this, I want to see it. All right, Margot. Okay, you want to go? I want to see yours too. You guys throw your Instagram handles into the chat so we can see this. All right, so Maliki, this is the only problem. Is like it's so hard for me to type these things. Hold on, don't go until we get all dialed in. Emily art by Emily Page. Is that it? No. Hold on. Oh, okay. See, I'm already confused. I was following. I was going to Margot's instead of Sonia. Don't worry, Sonia. I'm coming to get you right now. So Sonia. Okay, Jones, the artist. Jones. And what you want to do, Sonia, before we do this, is you'll want to turn down the volume on. Why are you not popping up yet? Did I install something? I got to get a better system that allows me to type these things in. Jones, the artist. Why are you not popping up? There it is. Got it. Okay. All right. Boom. Sonia, I'm following you right now. Mute your Zoom, and then hit the live on that thing, and let's see. Let's go. I should get clicking here. And so she's Sonia Jones, the artist. Obviously, you guys will see it on my screen. And you have 1,500 followers. Sonia, you're cooking with gas over here. Now, while she's getting it going, she's got a great profile, you guys. Follower counts there. I mean, I would prefer to see her face rather than her logo because you guys are the brand. Okay, so Sonia, let's switch that out. Visual artist, muralist, storyteller. I use paint and fabric, tell the story of my people. Artist, muralist, immersive art, hashtags, good. She's got a link tree, or she's got a link to her website, which should be with us, Sonia. You need to upgrade. She's got some story highlights here, which I like. Yep, beautiful post, beautiful colors. All right, Sonia, all you got to do is hit the live. And I'll unmute you, actually. I don't know if you can still hear me on here. But I should see it pop by now. It's funny, there's so many of you guys on here that are already rocking on Instagram, too. It's great. All right, Sonia, you going? We're waiting. You're front and center. While she's doing this, I'll see what's next. Super sneak peek on what's cooking. Doing some research. Yeah, Sonia, this is totally what you were asking me about. You're doing a great job.
I'm on mute. I'm live now. I don't know why I can't see it.
So just keep. Okay, now I've got you. Okay, mute it.
Okay.
I want to see it. What's up, Sonia? Look at this. You guys see how she's already got comments going on too?
Hello.
You're cooking with gas. I love this.
Oh, hey, Kristen. Oh, hey, Art Storefront. Hey.
Yeah.
Okay, this was really easy.
That was really easy. And you already have 4 people on and you're already talking to your friends. Now you're getting questions.
Yes. Oh, yes. Okay.
All right.
Hey, Karen.
Okay. I'm gonna end it. You know what you're doing, Sonia. Okay. I'll
That's
I'll
cool.
watch.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Great job. Now go do 100 of them. Okay. Now let me get to Margot.
Yeah, I think
I told you I would.
good.
I told you
I'm on this.
I'm gonna mute her. Okay. Let me see if I can find Margot and then see if Margot is gonna go to Milly Kim. I gotta get a keyboard. I think I have one somewhere, but I gotta get it connected. Emily Kim. M Creations. M Creations. This would be so much healthier with happier with just a QR code I can stand. Shoot, it's not. Why is it not coming out? I spelled it wrong. Emily Kim. Hold on, guys. I see. Emily Kim. Creations. CR. All right, boom. Okay, so now I've got Margot's account pulled up. Or is your name Margot Hoover in here and you're Emily Kim on the other one? I don't know what you're doing with the 2 names situation, but okay, 220 followers. Again, EK, her logo instead of her. I'd prefer to see her face, but that's okay. 2-time cancer survivor. Congrats on that. Love that. Good. She's got a link tree. Don't have any story highlights. You know, I'd prefer you got some story highlights going on. And then in terms of your art, again, I don't know what she looks like. How am I supposed to get bonded to someone if there's just barely any photos of her, right? Which is an important part of what makes you an artist, right? Like, we want to know what you look like. You need to be contrarian about it. But are you going to go for it, Margot? We're watching if you do. Oh, okay. So now I'm a little confused. Do you have a computer? I represent Emily. My name is Margot. I'll add the story highlights. Thank you. You need more photos of her. Okay. Yeah, good. We'll leave it at that. I like that. I got to start pushing you guys more often to do them on the spot. They're just super, super valuable to like taking action right now, immediately. Look, Sonia's still on there talking. I love it. I love it. Once you guys realize that this is a thing that you can do this and you start leveraging it, I'm telling you, you guys are going to be cooking with gas. So to wrap things up, I'm going to send you a replay of the video. So if I was talking too fast or you missed things or you want to go back and you want to visit it again, it's going to be there. You'll be able to see it. You can slow the video down, do all of that awesome stuff. That's number 1. Number 2, for anybody that's interested in what we do, Art Storefronts as a business, you definitely need to get a demo. It's definitely the end of the month. We definitely have a sale, and it's definitely ending tomorrow. And I believe that there is an ability to get on a demo tomorrow if you're so inclined. So if you want to do that, you can just read one of the emails that we have, or fill out the demo request button on our site. Anyway, yeah, don't worry. It's gonna be in the email that I'll send you as a follow-up. I'm gonna send you a follow-up with this video. There'll be a link. You can get registered for the demo and you can get on. And I'd love to do more Instagram audits later. This kind of went to the the live video giddy up. Let's go, Michelle. I'm proud of you. Sonia, I'm proud of you guys for getting it done today. All right, Shane's got a final question. Shane, go ahead.
Just real quickly,
Yeah.
There's an option on Instagram to share to Facebook business page on the Reels. Do you recommend doing all of the Reels, sharing Facebook, and then on Facebook, share the business page with the personal page? What?
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's a complicated question because what I'd prefer you do is get comfortable making them on Instagram and don't worry about anything else. Then what I'd prefer you to do really is get Instagram where you've maxed it out and then go and take care of Facebook. But a good way to do that, a good bridge, is just saying post this thing to Facebook. I mean, how can it hurt, right?
Yeah.
But I sort of feel like you stay in your lane until you get good enough at Instagram and you're cooking with gas on Instagram. Once you do, like, you realize like how quickly you get up to speed, how quickly your creative juices just start flowing, how quickly you can do this, all this amazing stuff that you can do. Like, oh my gosh, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. And then you just start shipping more and more and more of them. And then you're going to be like, oh, taking care of Facebook. Are you kidding me? I've got like 800 of them. Boom. Slot them over there, That's what I would do. And you should do one right now today. Are you going to do one right now today?
I don't know. I have like 12 followers, so
yeah. But that's
we're working, you know.
Yeah,
but I've got a drone, I've got a GoPro, I've got all this, and I'm just thinking, okay, I got to get out and use this stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you can also do it in airplane cockpits, so that's not a bad background.
Yeah, it's kind of, you have to be careful because if the FAA sees it, you know, they can
dodginess. All right.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we'll leave it there. As a final, if you've not, you know, if don't leave here without subscribing to the podcast. Okay, we have a podcast. It's absolutely awesome. It's called the Art Marketing Podcast. It's anywhere that you might listen to a podcast. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Podcasts. It's on Stitcher. It's on Overcast. Anywhere. Art Marketing Podcast. There it is. Subscribe. Ton of great content on there. Ton of great episodes that you can listen to. In addition to that, guys, if we're live on Instagram, you see myself, you see our CEO, Nick, fire off some comments, fire off some questions. If you've got questions, we're answering. We love to answer at any point in time and love to interact with you there. So you guys, thank you all very much. Hope you have all incredible weekends and hope to see you again soon.